Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Gary Lane. President Trump is endorsing a new immigration plan that he calls the most significant reform in half a century. At the same time, he's hoping to deliver on more campaign promises, like cutting taxes and repealing and replacing Obamacare, even though health care legislation failed last week in the Senate. CBN News' Jenna Browder has the latest from Washington.
President Trump is making good on campaign promises. When it comes to immigration, he's endorsing a new plan to overhaul the current system.
This legislation demonstrates our compassion for struggling American families who deserve an immigration system that puts their needs first and that puts America first.
Standing with Senators Tom Cotton and David Perdue, Trump pushed their bill to slash legal immigration in half. The measure would put skilled workers and English speakers at the front of the line and limit admissions based on family connections.
Over 50% of our households of legal immigrants today participate in our social welfare system.
The legislation was first introduced in February but didn't get much traction. And now already some fellow Republicans are speaking out against it.
This idea of skewing the entire green card pool to one area of the economy, I think is very misplaced.
Senator Lindsey Graham says he supports merit-based immigration, but worries about the legislation's impact on agriculture, tourism, and service industries. Democrats call it an affront to American values and a threat to the U.S. economy. And White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders appeared on CBN's Faith Nation, where she talked about the president signing a new bill on sanctions with Russia, North Korea, and Iran, despite calling it seriously flawed and something that limits his ability to negotiate.
We have been very clear since the beginning that this administration is going to be tough on Russia, tough on North Korea, tough on Iran, and certainly wanted to be supportive of those sanctions, but also wanted to do so properly.
At the same time, Republicans are pushing ahead with plans for tax cuts, and some senators are taking a different approach on health care reform. Days after the Republican effort to repeal and replace Obamacare crumbled in the Senate, some lawmakers say they're reaching across the aisle to work together.
I think we can resolve those problems, but it's going to take more bipartisan work.
We have a lot of bipartisan discussions going on right now, more than we've had in months.
But not all Republicans think they'll be able to reach a deal with Democrats. And President Trump says he's not giving up either. But if the effort fails again, he says Obamacare will have to run its course.
Let Obamacare explode. It is exploding right now.
You know, I said from the beginning, let Obamacare implode and then do it.
Trump is looking for wins wherever they may be, and he needs them when it comes to Congress. That's why he and Republicans are moving forward with issues like immigration and tax cuts, but still holding on to hope for health care reform. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
2 American service members were killed after a suicide bombing attack in Afghanistan. The explosion happened at a NATO convoy near Kandahar City. The Navy captain confirmed the casualties in the attack. The 2 service members were part of an international force located in that southern part of the city, but no other information has been released. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for that attack. Well, the U.S. military successfully test-launched an intercontinental ballistic missile from California Wednesday, just days after North Korea's second test of an ICBM. CBN's national security correspondent Eric Rosales takes a closer look at the conflict and the new approach the U.S. is taking, trying to get Kim Jong-un to the table.
Early Wednesday morning, the United States sent a strong message to North Korea and its leader Kim Jong-un. An unarmed Minuteman III missile was launched from Vandenberg Air Force Base about 130 miles northwest of Los Angeles. An Air Force statement said that the test was not in response to the recent actions by North Korea, but shows that America's nuclear enterprise is, quote, safe, secure, effective, and ready to be able to deter, detect, and defend against attacks on the United States and its allies. Last week, North Korea tested an ICBM for the second time. The missile flew for 45 minutes and traveled more than 2,300 miles into space. Analysts said the missile could have reached cities like Los Angeles and Chicago. In a disturbing development, the missile came down right in the middle of busy commercial airspace. Flight data shows an Air France 777 jetliner with 323 people on board was traveling from Tokyo to Paris and passed the area. 10 minutes later, the North Korean missile came down on the plane's direct flight path.
The crew of this plane had no idea that they were in danger because the missile was coming in from outer space. And what if this missile had broken up at altitude and scattered pieces all around? It would have made it even more dangerous.
The Pentagon has said North Korea's missile launches are done with no coordination and are reckless. Meanwhile, the United States, through the State Department, has taken a softer approach with North Korea, telling the cloaked country and its leader that the United States is not your enemy.
We do not seek a regime change. We do not seek the collapse of the regime. We do not seek an accelerated reunification of the peninsula. We do not seek an excuse to send our military north of the 38th parallel.
However, in the same breath, Secretary Tillerson said the United States still requires North Korea to end its missile and nuclear program. And although he said the U.S. seeks dialogue with the North, he added that, quote, "Our other options are not attractive." Later this week, Secretary Tillerson plans to head to Asia for a security meeting. It's expected to be attended by diplomats from North Korea, Japan, South Korea, and China. It could be an opportune moment for diplomatic breakthrough. Eric Rosales, CBN News, Washington.
Evangelicals praised President Trump last month when he appointed a new religious freedom ambassador. Now some members of Congress are urging him to appoint a White House liaison to the American Jewish community. Republican Congressman Doug Lamborn of Colorado and Democrat Stephanie Murphy of Florida are among representatives urging the appointment. They say that anti-Semitism is on the rise in the United States and the position is still needed. The position remains vacant. That's a break with a 40-year tradition. President Trump has complained Democrats are obstructing confirmation of his appointments, but the Jewish liaison does not need congressional approval. Some speculate the president doesn't sense any urgency to appoint a liaison because both his daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared are Jewish. Well, response has been overwhelming to a story we brought you last week about an Iranian Christian facing deportation by Sweden back to certain danger in Iran. Dale Hurd has this update.
Since CBN News first brought you her story, Ideen Strandson's future remains in limbo. She waits either for political asylum or to be deported. The Iranian actress left Islam to become a Christian after having a dream about Jesus. She came to Sweden in 2014 on a work visa. Ideen has been very public about her new faith, which means she faces prison, rape, and death if returned to the Islamic Republic of Iran.
It's so dangerous for me, and I don't know why immigration don't believe that I'm really in a danger.
Even though Sweden's migration board says on its own webpage that it will never deport asylum seekers to nations where they face danger, and doing so is a violation of the Geneva Convention on Refugees, the migration board rejected Ideen's request for asylum and turned her case over to border police for eventual deportation. Swedish attorney Gabriel Donner.
Well, the Migration Board information regarding Iranian prisoners tells us that torture and rape is common. And it is also in breach of international law to subject any person to such treatment.
So many CBN viewers contacted the Migration Board after our story aired that a Migration Board official contacted CBN News and told us, "The fact that your readers write to us will not change the migration agency's decision, nor can we change the court's decision." Her case has been appealed and processed by the migration agency, and thereafter by the Swedish courts, which have also decided that she cannot be granted asylum. CBN News has received many offers of help and even asylum for Ideen from other nations. But Strandson cannot leave Sweden on her own. Her Iranian passport has been taken away. And she says her first choice is to remain in Sweden if possible. Strandson and other Christian asylum seekers in Sweden face deportation at the same time the Swedish government has given 150 protected identities to former ISIS fighters who have returned to Sweden so that they can find jobs. There will be no such help for Ideen.
They said to me, it's your personal life, and it's not a problem if you decided to be a Christian, and it's your problem.
Donner says Christians deported to Muslim nations face certain danger.
Some of them are killed straight off, some of them succeed in going into hiding, some of them escape to some other place, but you are putting them at risk.
The head of Sweden's migration board, Mikael Ribbenvik, could order her case reopened, But Aidin is now relying on a power much greater than the Swedish government, the power of Jesus Christ.
I think about that dream I had in Iran about Jesus, and I still think he's watching me. He will help me.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
And we've just heard from Aidin's attorney, who tells us that her team is going to try for a new hearing next week. Well, stay with CBNNews.com for the latest. And coming up, explosive church growth in an unlikely place. See why Christianity is thriving in communist Cuba after this. Cuba has been dominated by communism for more than 50 years. But many people have wondered, just how strong was the church in Cuba during those decades? Now we're learning that it did amazingly well despite difficult times. And the hardship it suffered has paved the way for an explosion of church growth today. Heather Sells brings us that story from Havana.
On a typical Sunday morning in Cuba, you'll find church crowds overflowing around the island. Many are house churches meeting in remodeled living rooms. Others look like your typical church with one big difference: political restrictions.
Space is an issue for so many Cuban churches. For this particular church, the government will not sell it more land, and it's growing, so it's been forced to build up.
On the upper levels, you'll find Sunday school rooms plus 4 spillover areas to watch the Sunday service.
When you have 80 to 100 people in an apartment, it's hard, very hard, and neighbors get upset.
Pastor Miguel leads a house church now meeting in his yard because it no longer fits inside. It's a common theme in Cuban churches fueled by incredible growth and government restrictions. In the past 20 years, more than 16,000 evangelical churches have opened their doors.
One of the things that has made us grow in faith has been the limitations and the difficulties.
Pastor Nestor and his wife Rosa live in one room above their tiny church. On Sunday mornings and during weeknight services, only a few will have a real seat.
People here don't care how comfortable they are. They could be exhausted from working all day and they will sit on a bag of rocks, a stitched-up chair, or stand the whole service, and they're okay with that.
Cuban church leaders say events led by the fall of the Soviet Union sparked the current church planting explosion.
When the Russian government collapsed, Cuba went through a lot, and people started looking to churches for hope.
At the same time, the government ended its atheistic philosophy and declared itself a secular state, leading an entire generation to question what it believed. A government official at the time suggested that churches, unable to obtain building permits, meet in homes. That offhand comment sparked a movement similar to early church growth in the Book of Acts. Pastor Francisco is one of thousands of Cuban house church pastors who followed the gospel with tremendous passion.
We have evangelized everyone who lives in this area, a New Testament Bible to each home. We can't stop, we won't stop, because even if they won't accept the Lord the first, second, third, or fourth time, even so, we can't stop until they come to the Lord.
The growth of the church here is even more miraculous given the country's poverty. Average monthly government salary is $20, and professionals typically make less than $50. Still, Cuban churches are known for their generosity and willingness to sacrifice for the sake of the gospel.
What we have, we want to share with others. What we have, not what we have left over.
Another obstacle Cuban churches face is spiritual warfare in the form of Santeria. It's a blend of West African religions known for its ritual ceremonies.
This is a wooded area in Havana where those practicing Santeria like to come. They will perform ritual cleansings in the river here and offer sacrifices on this rock.
Pastor Nestor faces resistance right in the neighborhood. During one Sunday worship, a Santeria group stood outside the church, beating their drums.
Levantamos la iglesia todo en oración.
It was kind of like a spiritual face-off. The church just started praying, and then we prayed for rain, and all of a sudden there was thunder, so they had to leave.
Church leaders say they're enjoying a new season of relaxed restrictions. It's easier to evangelize outside the church, and they receive more permits to hold special events. Still, most churches cannot expand or buy land. They cannot produce Christian radio or television shows. And they must work around a dysfunctional economy. Remodeling plans at Pastor Nestor's church are on hold indefinitely until they can obtain much-needed cement.
Sometimes without suffering, there's no challenge, and without that challenge, there's no victory.
Reporting in Havana, Cuba, Heather Sells, CBN News.
Well, up next, shocking revelations about diet sodas. Not only do they make you gain weight, just drinking one a day triples your risk of dementia and strokes. We hear more on the dangers of artificial sweeteners after this. If you drink or eat anything with artificial sweeteners, you need to listen to our next report. We warned you about the dangers of these fake sugars for years. And now, as Lori Johnson explains, they not only can hurt your brain and heart, they might even cause you to gain weight.
This country's weight problem is only getting worse. The CDC reports a staggering 71% of adults qualifies as overweight or obese. The result? Things like heart disease, cancer, diabetes. In June, the New England Journal of Medicine reported the whole world is getting fatter and paying a price. 4 million deaths, 60% caused by obesity, but the other 40% by just being overweight. Health experts say the root cause of our weight problem can be summed up in one word: sugar. Most Americans consume about 160 pounds of it a year. Oftentimes, it's hidden in foods you'd never expect, like yogurt, peanut butter, pasta sauce, and bread. Then other times, it's right out front, like in soda. This one can contains more than 9 teaspoons of sugar. It's no wonder so many people turn to diet sodas containing zero-calorie artificial sweeteners to reduce their sugar intake. But that's a bad choice for a number of reasons. A new Boston University study revealed people who drank diet soda have 3 times the risk of developing dementia and having a stroke. And that's people who just drink one a day.
So artificial sweeteners, we think, are much worse than we ever thought.
The Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Michael Roizen says artificial sweeteners like aspartame, saccharin, and sucralose can disrupt what's known as our microbiome.
Your microbiome is the bacteria inside your gut. Those artificial sweeteners cause a separate breed of bacteria to grow inside you.
Neurologist David Perlmutter says artificial sweeteners throw off the delicate balance of good and bad bacteria.
The bacteria that live within our gut nurture the brain when they're treated right. They reduce inflammation, for example. Inflammation is the key player that causes multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and even Alzheimer's, and coronary artery disease, and diabetes for that matter as well.
Perlmutter says in addition to avoiding artificial sweeteners, consider taking probiotics to increase good bacteria and prebiotics to maintain healthy levels. We consume artificial sweeteners to control our weight, but believe it or not, a number of scientific studies show they actually cause us to gain weight. One reason goes right back to the gut.
The body thinks it's starving and holds on to every calorie that a person consumes. So here are people consuming diet drinks and gaining weight. And that doesn't seem to make any sense. And yet we now see that it's happening because of changes in the gut bacteria. The risk of developing diabetes is dramatically increased twofold in people who drink a lot of sugarless beverages. Who knew?
Nutritionist J.J. Virgin says the artificial sweeteners stevia, xylitol, erythritol, and monk fruit appear to be better choices for the gut. However, they can still lead to weight gain.
But there's also a phenomenon that happens called calorie dysregulation that they saw with artificial sweeteners. When you eat something that's got a sweet taste with no calories, your body can't calibrate the degree of sweetness with how many calories, so it causes you to tend to overeat.
Then there's our own DNA. Genetics predispose an estimated 3/4 of us to have an addiction to sweets, meaning the more we take in artificial sweeteners, the more we crave all sweets. That's why health experts recommend removing the taste for sweets altogether.
Sweet is a learned taste. If you go off sweet, if you go off sugar, if your brain doesn't get used to it, if your taste buds don't get used to it, you can avoid it, and that's a much healthier state.
Virgin proved this theory with 700 sugar addicts.
First, we taper down for a week. We don't cook cold turkey, but then we lower their sugar impact down. We start using more spices and more savory and getting enough protein in and getting healthy fats in. And then at the end of 2 weeks, we go back and test. And these sugar addicts told me that sweet food just tasted gross.
So while eating too much sugar is definitely hazardous, artificial sweeteners can be just as bad for you, maybe worse. That's why the healthiest solution is to remove all sweets from your diet, both real and fake. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Video of a 9-year-old Indiana girl ministering outside an abortion clinic is making rounds on the internet. Brianna, whose full name we're not releasing for privacy reasons, can be seen wearing a headset to amplify her voice in a video that's been viewed by millions. As you can see, she's sharing the gospel and pleading with women waiting inside the clinic to choose life. We spoke with the girl about why she thinks it's important to speak out about abortion.
It's little children that are being murdered and killed, and they're alive, they have a heartbeat, so they're humans like us. It's just like the only difference is they can't say no.
So far, Brianna's video has reached more than 1 million people, and you can see the full story by visiting cbnnews.com. And to hear more from Brianna, she'll be a guest on the Prayer Link with Charlene Aaron. Tune in to CBN News Facebook page today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, that's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day. Be blessed.